I started a brand new world in the Minecraft 1.20 update. So far, we're on episode 4, and in this episode, I really want to get going on a blacksmith. That way we can put a villager in there, and it'll be kind of like a trading hall, only for one type of villager. And I would also like to continue this water wheel by making a slight river coming through this area, all the way out into the ocean. But before we get started on that, we have a couple of things that we need to take care of. First of all, we got a diamond pickaxe in the last episode, along with a mending book. So the very first thing that I wanted to do was head over to the anvil and see if we have enough levels to add that, and it looks like we do. Now we have a brand new shiny mending pickaxe for us to be working with. And another thing we need to do before we get started on building all those projects is we have another name suggestion, and this time it's for one of our llamas. And just like Sandy the camel, we do not have any name tags quite yet, so we're just going to give an honorary name to this one right here, who's going to be named Barack Olama. And just like last episode, if you guys have any name suggestions for any of the animals here, drop them in the comments and I'll check them out. And now onto the building part. I would like to make a river going through this area, and to do that I think I'm gonna have to find a spot where that water is going to be flowing from. And for now, I'm thinking of making this area right here into a little bit of a pond slash spring. I'm not really quite sure how water flow actually works, but in concept it should come from a large body of water and flow downhill. So right here should be okay. And if it's not, technically correct, it's just Minecraft. So it's not too big of a deal. So first thing I'm gonna do is craft ourselves an extra shovel and an extra water bucket so that we can make a water source over there. And of course we're going to need some dirt just to do some terraforming. And with that we can go ahead and get started. I think I'm gonna try to make it 2 deep and just kind of follow the edge right here, all the way around this area right here that's already kind of naturally shaped. And if we add a little bit over here on the side, we can make it a little bit more circular. Then we can remove all the grass at the bottom. And on the second layer, and then continue adding just a little bit more of a lip around the water for that second layer. And of course, once we add in all of the water, it's going to need somewhere to escape so that it can turn into a river. So I'm thinking right here will work perfectly. That way we can just carve out kind of a 2x2 area right through here so that all the water is on that first layer and that second layer, and it pours right into a stream. And now that we know where our stream is going to begin, I'm gonna start clearing out some of this grass right here and using our shovel to just kind of clear some path blocks right here to designate what shape I want the river to look like. And I think I want it to be a little bit curvy, so I'm going to bring it all the way out here, swirl it past the house a little bit, and then bring it back towards the water wheel. Something like this shape should work perfect. And I was kind of limited how far I could swirl this in a little bit just because I do want the water to be heading downstream the whole time. So it's not as big of a curve as I would like it to be, but I think it still works out really good. And now I just need to start digging out all of these areas as I follow the path blocks. And then right here it's just going to dip down a little bit, which is going to put us on this layer of dirt. So right after that dip, I think we'll have another one right here. And once we've made it all the way over to here towards the house, I think we're going to start turning back around towards the water wheel. And now we have our little bit of a curve, so we're going to head down one more layer so that we'll be on the exact same layer as the water wheel. Just like this. And I even added a couple more curves right towards the end so that it adds just a little bit more character to the water. Now the next thing that we want to do is finally add in the water to this lake. And I think I'm going to start with a 4x4 area right here so that we can make an infinite water source. Then we can just make our way along the first layer, just like this. And then we can do the exact same thing to the second layer. And now that the pond has been all filled up, we just need to fill in the rest of the river. And just like that, we have a nice little river going into our water wheel with a couple of cute little waterfalls just like this throughout the space. And I actually really liked the way that it ended up curving. I think it matches the landscape really nicely. And of course, we have our beautiful little pond right here with a little water source that I can cover up right there now. And with that, that is our first project complete. And we can get a nice little aerial view of what it looks like from above. And now the next thing that I would like to start working on is our blacksmith. For that one, I'm thinking of putting it right here. So of course, we're going to have to clear out some space real quick. We can just remove all of this grass and a little bit of dirt, and that should be plenty of room to work with. So the next thing that I want to do is go ahead and grab some materials for us to work with, and I've already picked a design, so we're just going to have to pick up a few materials here, and of course a few materials out here, and a little bit down here. Now that we have all of the wood and the stone that we're going to need, we can go ahead and get started on building. So first off, I think I'm going to take my shovel and mark out the area that it's going to be built in, with right here being the front porch, right in here being the main shop, and right here being an extra little tower for the forge. So to go ahead and start us off, I can start building up the porch really quick, adding some cute little stairs right here and some fences in the corners that will eventually connect up to a overhang. Next, we can start working on the front wall to the main portion of the building. And our entrance is going to go right down the middle. And then we're also going to have some windows right in these areas right here. So for that, I'm just going to put some stairs and some glass panes. And the glass panes will stretch in a minute once there's actually blocks connected to them. Just like this. We can go ahead and do that on the other side as well. Again, adding some staircases to encase the windows. And then finally, for this front wall, we can also add a staircase to encase our door, which unfortunately I am out of spruce, so I'm gonna have to go find a spruce forest. So we'll just have to use a dark oak door for now, which I still think looks pretty good. Next, just to add some dimension to the building, I'm gonna move forward a little bit more than I anticipated for the tower, just so that it adds just that little bit of an extra pop. And just to save some materials, I think I'm going to cut out the corners and actually replace them with some stone walls. That way it'll be a little less materials and also add some more dimension to the corners. And for the flooring on the inside, I think I'm going to go with a nice dark oak wood plank. And right here, we're again going to add some stairs into the wall just for some dimension, but this time instead of having them being encasing the windows, it's actually going to be encasing the fireplace, which means that the floor that I just put in, I'm actually going to have to take out for this area of the build, just so things don't light on fire. And for just an entranceway into the forge area, I'm going to make a cute little door frame. Now I want to add another window right up here, and for this one we're actually going to put some iron bars in the middle, just like that. And now I'm going to take some of my cobbled deep slate, and we can go ahead and start making a little area right here where the lava is going to be sitting. And it kind of just needs a little spot right here to pool, so if I take these stairs and connect it like that, that should be perfect. And what we can do with that deep slate as well is turn it into some polished deep slate and make a couple slabs. And with this, we can go ahead and start stacking it up. And actually, instead of slabs, I think I'm going to use some stairs. And we can use those stairs to start stacking our way up just like this and add some texture to the sides of the walls. And then we can just go ahead and fill in this side, leaving a gap for some windows, which we can fill in with some iron bars as well. And now all we have left to do for the tower is fill in this other side of the wall and add a little bit of a ceiling. And then we can finish everything off by adding a cobblestone bottom to the waterfall area, or lava fall area, and then also adding a little area for that lava to start, and this will also help contain it so that it doesn't burn the rest of the house. And then finally, we can add a spot right here for a campfire, so that we'll be able to see this burning from the outside. Just like that. And as an added bonus, I didn't even realize you're able to see the smoke from in there. And speaking of campfires, we can probably start adding a little overhang just like this. And then we can take our shovel and go ahead and take out all of the flames up here. That way our roof isn't on fire. And then after that, we're left with a cute little overhang just like that. And now the final thing that we need to do is work on the roof for this section of the building. And I think I'm actually going to use the wood from these oak trees. So if we chop a couple of these down and add them to the roof, just like that. And now the last thing that we need to do is come in here and fill in the walls. And with that, that is technically the build complete. But I do have quite a few things that I've collected from the mine shafts that we've explored, so I figured it would be fun to add in some extra things around here. Starting off, I think it would be kind of cute to have a bell at the front door and also some lanterns hanging around. We can put one on the tower, and then let's go with one more inside. And because we don't really have a lot of spots to put the rails, I think I'm just going to do them against the back right here. We can put the chest right there, which technically is some storage for this building. And we can add a picture frame, which I don't really have much to put in there, but we might as well add some charcoal. I think that's the only applicable thing that would be right here, I think. Next, I actually want to extend that little lantern that we put there down with some chain so it hangs a little bit lower. And then finally, we can add yet another campfire right there, which we can surround with some iron bars to get a little bit of a fenced off area so no one happens to walk in here. Except for me. I don't think villagers can hop on that. And just to make sure, we'll add some glass. Which leaves us with our final 2 decorations. Oh! Actually, that I stand corrected. I think a saddle would look much better in this area right here. Which means now we're down to our last 2 decorations, which is our chain. And I'm not really quite sure where to put these, so I'm thinking we put them right here. As if the blacksmith were to come out and hang some tools right here, or a jacket, something like that. Now, I don't actually think I have any lava at the moment. Let me just double check. Yep, no lava. Which means that we're not actually able to finish this forge quite yet, but I feel like we'll probably be able to get some lava in some future episodes. So that'll eventually be done. But for now, that should be all that we have to add to this build to make it complete. So if you did happen to enjoy this episode, then please do consider subscribing, because I would love to see you guys in the next episode. And speaking of next episodes, here's a couple that I think that you would enjoy.